Hey guys, good morning. Sincere here with whoissincere.com. I want to bring you a quick article here about Bill O'Reilly. The idea that any urchins are going hungry in the U.S. is a total lie. So, long story short, I'll leave a link for this article. Uh, he's having a discussion with a contributor. Her name is Kirsten Powers from Media Matters. Uh, I'm sorry. I believe maybe she's from Media Matters, I'm not sure, but with a contributor, Kirsten Powers. Now, excuse me, this lady is an educated lady. She's worked with different organizations and, things like that. So she knows what she's talking about, but they're talking about poverty and about, poor children in America and whether they're eating at night or not. And she's pretty much, he's pretty much telling her that it's impossible that there's no, children are not eating at night. Poverty is not a real factor in America, that people are really rich and, even poor people are riding around in their big cars with their flat screen TVs and, and if, anybody is poor, it's because they're abusing the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program by selling their food stamps on the black market. So anybody that knows anything about anything knows that this is an absolute lie. There's a very small fraction of people that engage in illegal activity and abuse the system. Small fraction of people. But you have folks from all different kinds of backgrounds and previous income levels that have utilized, the system and have really needed it for their children and, for their families and, have used their benefits and then moved on and not used them again and went back to, a paying job or whatever the case may be, or a business or whatever. So, there's all kinds of data that's out there, regarding this topic. It's not anything that's really hard to find. So, here's one of the numbers here. So, O'Reilly, of course, he says a lot of BS, and then he, follows it with, that's just the facts. That's just the statistics. It's not the case at all. He never states who gives these facts or statistics. He's just an idiot saying numbers and an idiot saying his opinion and then lying and saying it's a fact. That's all it really boils down to. When there's notable organizations out there, that will, notable organizations and advocacy groups like No Kid Hungry, that's telling you in one city alone, New York City, that 474,000 children are at risk of being hungry, meaning they're not eating properly, they're not eating nutritiously. So if we took a small percentage of that 474,000, say maybe 10% or 5%, we're still looking at, anywhere between the ballpark of, 25,000 to 47,000 children that are not eating properly and that are at extreme risk. So even if we take those numbers and we put that with New York, Los Angeles, Miami, Chicago, and we go down all the hub cities, and we add up all those numbers, I'm sure we'll come up to over 100,000 children that are not eating properly in the United States of America. And I'm sure a great deal of those children are not eating properly because of our current economic conditions that we're in. Not because people are out trying to hustle off food stamps and, on the black market, as O'Reilly states it so eloquently. It bothers me that this class system is set up so destructively that we can't even, tell. People like him can't even tell what's going on in the cities that they live in. That means he's never been to the other side of the city and spoke with a family from the other side of the city. Never. Never. He has no idea. He doesn't know what's going on. He gets in his nice car or is chauffeured to wherever he has to go, and he's completely disconnected from reality. So he challenged this lady to go back on his show and to bring a family on, and he said he would put them on air put them on air, and and challenged her to bring back a family who's not, eating properly in the United States. I think Bill O'Reilly would do good to come out here to Chattanooga, where I'm at right now, and see what it's like to be in the Bible Belt of the South, where the churches down here, a lot of the big things that they do as far as donations are feeding the hungry, and a lot of the feeding the hungry has to deal with children. So a lot of the churches around here accept donations, and they give out a lot of food. Okay, people wouldn't do that if there wasn't a need for it. And that's what folks like him just don't get. They don't understand, because they're a part of an elite class system, a system that me and you aren't a part of. Most of us are not a part of. So, he's paid for his ignorance, for his selective ignorance. This is not a man that has any kind of deep insight about life. This is not a man that can help your future. This is not a man that you can trust to give you unbiased news. This is not a man that's educated more than most Americans. This is just the highest paid troll on television. This is a news anchor with a bulletproof vest. That's what this is. So he's able to go in and cause whatever carnage he wants, but Fox won't fire him. Fox doesn't have the integrity to put this man to the side for how many times he's had to apologize for not giving the facts. Isn't it kind of funny that it's called the O'Reilly factor? And all the factors of what he says, well, not all the factors, but a good deal of the factors of what he talks about aren't even facts. A lot of, crazy, out of control, just theories and thoughts, and a lot of prejudice, to be honest with you. I won't say racism, I'll say prejudice. And that prejudice comes from a class system. He looks down on a lot of people, particularly one group of people. But if you're not within his income bracket, he looks down on you, and you're not worth anything, especially if you don't share his views. So clearly, the lady that, he had on his show, she was 100% right about the families that are going hungry right here in America. Nah, this idiot doesn't want to believe her. He wants to go about, trying to just talk loud, talk down to her in typical O'Reilly fashion, and tell her that she doesn't know what she's talking about, and she's pretty much lying. So I assume that we'll be hearing an apology once again out of the mouth of this idiot. And nothing will happen. Once again, he'll just apologize and keep moving on, because he's not paid to be right. He's not even paid to give you an unbiased view of the facts. No, he's paid to be wrong. That's what he does. He causes tension. He raises the emotional level. That's all he provides. He doesn't provide real news. The studies have already been out for a long time. Everyone knows that Fox is the worst news agency, that their news is not really news. So here we go again. Another story with this guy. Share this article, get it out there. Follow me on, subscribe to my channel here on YouTube. And then also give me a follow on Twitter, Sincere Speaks. Make sure you go to the website below, secretnewworld.com. I promise you won't be disappointed there. Come join me. I'm in a great life endeavor that I believe a lot of people need to be a part of. So make sure you visit secretnewworld.com. Very important for you. All right, I'll be talking to you later. Share this information about this paid troll and get it out there. This is what he does. All he does is lie. Here we go. O'Reilly doesn't think that there's any poor children in the United States that aren't eating well. He thinks that everyone's eating well, and the eating is fine in America, and we have no problems. Classism, that's what we're looking at. We're looking at classism. Don't fall for the trap.